When we left off last week, we saw the power of God. Not only did we see it, the Egyptians stated, their God fighteth for them. We didn't just see God fighting for them, we saw God favoring them. God gave light to the Israelites and darkness to the Egyptians. We saw God open the Red Sea for them a half-mile wide. We saw God open the Red Sea for them a half-mile wide, and we also saw God close the Red Sea to the Egyptians and kill every one of them who entered the Red Sea after the Israelites. But now, the Bible in verse 2 says, the whole congregation of Israelites is now complaining against Moses and Aaron in the wilderness. Which brings me to my first point. A complaining spirit is an ungrateful spirit. Some people, you just can't make them happy. They have amnesia. And let me say it again. Some people, you just can't make them happy. They have amnesia. Selective remembrance. When we first saw the Israelites, they were working from can't see to can't see, serving the Egyptians with rigor. Verse 3 says it this way, and the children of Israel said unto them, I would to God we had died by the hand of the Lord in the land of Egypt. And we sat by the flesh pots, and when we did eat bread to the full. For ye have brought us forth into this wilderness to kill this whole assembly with hunger. Ungrateful. Because when we met them in the Bible, they were not sitting by Instapots. They weren't sitting by cast iron skillets. They weren't eating gumbo. They wasn't having hot soup. They weren't eating filet mignon. But now, all of a sudden, that God has brought them out. Now, all of a sudden, they feel like what God has done for us is not enough. And they tell a lie. They said, why didn't God let us die? They wasn't trying to die. They was crying out when we read the Bible. They were crying and praying to God for deliverance. But now that God has brought them out, how quickly have they forgotten? And I'm not going to just point my finger at the Israelites. Because we too do the same thing. We complain, not recognizing it's a blessing just to be alive. Especially in the age of this pandemic. It's not, well, in 3 months from now I'm going to do this. Now we have to pray that we'll be around here in 3 months. And if you've been where I've been the last 4 weeks, every Saturday there's been a funeral. Every Saturday I'm walking in between life and death. Every Saturday I drive to the graveyard and I recognize that it is a blessing to be alive. And you ought to look at your neighbor and say, neighbor, I'm going to thank God for every breath I take. Every second he gives me, every minute he gives me, every hour he gives me, every day he gives me. And I'm not going to spend my time complaining. I'm going to give him praise. Because if it had not been for the Lord on my side, I don't know where I would have been. They are ungrateful.
Yes, they are. Ingratitude.
Pastor Dudley in his 90s looked at me one day and he told me the worst spirit you can have is a spirit of ingratitude.
My God, what you say? Yeah.
Not recognizing that someone has been good to you.
Yes.
And you're ungrateful.
That's it.
They talk as though they had it good. And I hear people all the time, the good old days. Man, they wasn't that good. If they'd have been that good, we wouldn't have wanted to come out of that place.
That's true.
It looks good when you get past it after God brings you out.
Yes.
But it wasn't that good. I was thinking one day, I was thinking about when me and my wife first got married, thought it was.
Yes, Lord.
I don't see them in no good old days. And the good times. What was good about them times, that show? They lived in a high-rise project. They was going through financially. James had a hard time keeping a job. Y'all not saying nothing. What was so good? But now I do like the Jeffersons. You want to contrast? Let's contrast. We're moving on up, Weezy. I ain't got on the right shoes. I can do that dance that he would do. But this man owned his own cleaners. They had a housekeeper. They had neighbors who were well-to-do. They lived in a high-rise. Good times living in a high-rise project. And I don't know if you've ever been to Chicago or New York or those places. We don't have projects around here. They got projects. Miles and miles and miles of high-rise projects and crime. And I hear people say, I just love good times. When I got older and started recognizing, no, I don't like good times. Give me the Jeffersons. Y'all ain't saying nothing. Give me the Cosbys. Y'all ain't saying nothing. Give me something I can see God has been good to his people. They swept him down. They had it made. Ungrateful. They forgot how much they cried to get where they are. They forgot how hard it really was. They forgot that they could not deliver themselves. Now that he's brought them out, they have the audacity to say this. Bring me my second point. God blesses complainers too. I hate to say it, but it's true. God blesses complainers too. Let me read verse 4 and 5 to back that up. Then said the Lord unto Moses, Behold, I will rain bread from heaven for you, and that the people shall go out and gather a certain rate every day, that I may prove them whether they will walk in my law or no. And it shall come to pass that on the 6th day they shall prepare that which they bring in, and it shall be twice as much as they gather daily. Although they were complaining, God heard. But listen to what God says again. Then said the Lord unto Moses, Behold, I will rain bread from heaven for you. He didn't say he was going to rain it for the Israelites. And so it does matter. God still is favoring, but now he's favoring Moses. He didn't say I was going to rain it for them. He said, I'm going to rain it for you. Because I know they're wearing you out. Boy, I can feel that this morning. It's some people that just wear you out. And God recognizes they're going to wear him out. And so I'm going to bless him to keep them off of him. Amen. God blesses complainers too. They're complaining. And God decides, I'm going to take care of you. Point 3. Complainers have to be reminded.
Lord have mercy.
Sometimes you just got to wash somebody's face.
What you say now?
Yeah, man. Sometimes you just have to really wash their face. And they may not want to hear it, but you need to tell them, I told you so. Every now and then you just need to get you a towel, Miss Reed, you got to get your towel like this. And get your big old tub of that I told you so. And dip it in there. And just wash. Because sometimes people have to be reminded. Moses and Aaron said unto them at evening, Then you shall know the Lord hath brought you out from the land of Egypt. They had forgotten.
That's it. Yes, Lord.
They had forgotten all that God had done that they had started walking around like they flatulence didn't stink.
God, Jesus.
That they had gotten beside themselves. The older people used to tell me you're smelling under your arm. You got beside yourself. Because they had forgotten who brought them out. And I wish I could preach this like I feel it. A lot of times we in Black America, we have forgotten that it was the Lord who brought us out. We like to talk about Black Lives Matter, and I'm down with it. Black Lives Matter. But here, watch this. When you go back to the Civil Rights Movement, the Civil Rights Movement was birthed out of the church. And now we don't even want to come to church. I wish I had help in here. You know, the church bombing, they know that if you bomb the church, you could affect the community. But now you can bomb a church, and it may not even matter because people do not like to come to church anymore. And maybe that's why we go through a lot of the trials and tribulations. We go through God trying to bring us back to Him and to His church. Because I don't know about you, but when I started going through trials, I started doing inventory on my life.
That's it.
And I started trying to make sure, God, am I missing you anywhere? Are you trying to get my attention? Because sometimes, not all the times, but sometimes when you and I are going through, is God trying to pull us back to the ark of safety. He's trying to get our attention. Sometimes we get a bad report from the doctor. God is not trying to kill us. He's trying to bring us closer because we're too far out. Every now and then, God has a way of bringing us back home. Moses and Aaron said unto them, then ye shall know that the Lord hath brought you out from the land of Egypt. How could they forget so quickly?
Yes, Jesus.
And if we don't remember, we'll keep repeating.
Yes, we will. Yes, we will.
He said, you will sit by the flesh pots this time, that God will provide. You'll see His glory. The manna that He's providing for you is His glory. Every time we get a paycheck, God is showing us His glory. Every time we can pay a bill on time,
You better say that.
God is showing us His glory. I know we take that for granted. Every time we walk to the refrigerator and we have choices, God is showing us His glory. And every time we walk to the freezer and we got choices, God is showing us His glory. Can I preach it like I feel it? And every time we walk to the closet and we open the closet up and we got choices. I'm going to wear this Monday, and I'm going to wear this Tuesday, and I'm going to wear this Wednesday, and I'm going to wear this Thursday. And maybe you like my wife. She'll lay her wardrobe out the whole week. And shoes got to match, and purse got to match. Y'all ain't saying them. Even her rain boots got to match. Everything has to match. Her jewelry got to match. All she needed some mouth jewelry. Everything got to match. And I have to tell her every now and then that this called spoiled. And ain't nothing wrong with being spoiled, but you ought to tell God thank you. And not forget that He was the one who gave us choices. And Miss Jacqueline is smiling because she do the same thing. It's a blessing to have a choice. And then some of us have multiple cars. We walk out this day, but nah, I ain't gonna drive this one. That's the hooping. I'm gonna drive this. Oh, we blessed. And we walk around and we act like we did it all by ourselves. But it was by the grace of God. Grace of God.
That's true.
Choices. Grace of God. So God tells them, I'm going to feed you. And every time I feed you, you're going to recognize it's my glory. My fourth point and my last point, don't complain Pray.
Yes.
Let me say it again. Don't complain.
Amen. Yes.
Pray. Now, I'm preaching this, but I ain't got it all together, so y'all pray for me.
You all right, Pastor?
Don't complain.
Yeah. You all right, baby?
Pray.
Yeah.
God will satisfy you with food morning and evening.
Yes.
And then he goes on, this is verse 8, God heareth your murmurings.
Right now. He does.
You're not murmuring against us. This is Moses talking.
Yeah.
But you're murmuring against God.
Right now. Yes.
And I want you to listen for just, let me slow down for just a moment because I want to make sure we get this, because I'm about to let you go. I'm not going to preach the whole text. I think we got it. Have we ever thought that when we were murmuring or complaining to somebody else, that it was really against God?
My God. What a question.
It wasn't other people. Because God is allowing, man, this is beating me up this morning. God is allowing the inconvenience.
Yes. Oh God. Oh God.
God is allowing the trouble for a reason. You know, and so often we'll be upset at a person.
Yes.
But it's not them. It's God allowing the inconvenience
That's right.
for a reason that we don't even know of.
That's right. True. That's right.
Sometimes we can misread it. But God knows, he always knows what he's doing.
Yes, he is.
And as I close here. He tells the children of Israel, you're going to get bread in the morning. And in the evening, I'm going to give you some of the best Popeye's chicken you've ever had. He gives them quail. And I don't know about y'all, if you ever go to a restaurant, they don't give you much quail.
No, Texas sure don't.
Quail is a little bitty bird. But you pay a whole lot for it.
Yes.
He's giving them a delicatessen. He's giving them something that is savory. This is a savory meal. He said, I'm going to give you quail in the evening. Biscuits in the morning. And this is what you're going to eat. But they had to eat it 40 years. It wasn't meant to be eaten 40 years. Their disobedience caused everything to linger. He failed. And I end with this. If God took care of, some scholars say it was over 3 million, some scholars say it was over 6 million. I don't know how many it was. I know it was a mega church. If God was able to feed and take care of them, why do we pull our hair out?
Yes.
Why do we worry? The same God back then, same God now.
Yes. Right.
And you just got to trust him when you can't trace him. The same God that fed all those people miraculously is the same God that can feed us and take care of us. True. I pray this has blessed you. And I pray you have a wonderful week.